Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm probably not the voice you expected to hear. Our dear stranger piece is dealing with some sutures, so I'm going to be running the session tonight. Welcome to this game of ours. We're normally hosted by a streaming raccoon in disguise, but this time you just get an undisclosed number of entities in a trench coat. I'm Skillsy. Today with us, so far, we have 5 of our usual players, so I'm just going to dive right in and we can go from there, okay?
All right, sounds good. By the way, I'm still here. I'm just off camera, and yeah, I'll
2 feet that way.
I'll be running tech, and so I'll be here. I'll also be playing the role of the NPC with agency, Ellie. So we're switching roles a little bit.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and check on our players. I'm gonna undeafen.
Excellent.
And let's say hi to folks.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hiya.
How's it going?
Hello.
Excellent.
Pretty good.
Good. So tonight we have Grim Fair, and we have Create a Crafty NB, we have 2% Chungus, we have Numb Dinosaur 83, and we have Pat PJC Plays.
Thank you.
Dum. I don't know why you needed the dum music, Pat, but you got it. It was by virtue of being the last one I listed. So I'm gonna stop talking and be the person I'm supposed to be, which is recovering from dental sutures. So I'm gonna make Skillsy talk. It's weird being on this side of things. I get it, Tori. Tori will be joining us later. As Tori put it, Dorothea has been mouthing off and getting a little too grown for her own good lately, so she's been busy scrubbing baseboards for now, but we'll join later. So
Sounds good. So before we get to the sort of post-mortem stuff from last session, I'm going to go ahead and read this wonderful intro that Stranger Piece has given us to sort of set the mood. The nights are never really quiet at Eastbrook's intensive care unit. There's always the continual drone of nurse paging systems, the rhythm of the 1,000 machines that preserve life on the brink, the modulated urgency of voices relaying care plans, prognoses, and the possibilities of what might come. Caitlin worked the night shift long enough to know that activity came in tides. Sometimes the tide would recede, and she would get an hour or two to drink coffee, exchange gossip at the nurse's station, and finish up her rounds paperwork. Sometimes the tide would flow in like a tsunami, and there would be 4 beds coding at once, and only 2 doctors and 2 NPs ready to hand. It was part of the frenetic exhaustion of the trade, the quiet gossip and the precise urgency of staving off death. When Jake Holstein, one of Dr. Holstein's youngest children, was admitted, she expected a little disruption. When one of the lead surgeon's kids gets admitted, there's going to be a little more oversight, a little more nitpicking, a little more steering from up top. But Caitlin didn't count on the unit going quiet, an uncanny calm where all the patients slept and none of them complained. She certainly didn't count on finding the lead nurse staring at the corner of the eastern wall for God knows how long, apparently unaware of what had happened. And Caitlin never predicted that when she did her rounds, the young patient would grab her hand with his, a touch sticky like honey and sick like rot, and say, "Nurse, I know how to make the pain stop. Would you like the pain to stop?" Caitlin tried to shift into something resembling a pediatric bedside manner, but his eyes made her forget all of her training. Jake's eyes rolled, not upward, but sideways, revealing a second amber iris. He smiled and said, "Haven't you always wanted to be in 2 places at once?" So, at the end of last session, we didn't have a ton of time, so a lot of the postmortem stuff didn't get squared away. I have asked the players to come in ideally with a little bit of an idea of what their 2 downtime actions were. These can be things like blowing off stress, progressing an ongoing project, things like that. What do you got for me?
Huh?
Well, I was hoping to continue the long-term project I started in our last downtime, which is working on a long-term record sort of story for Carter's newsletter about the adventure or the story.
Excellent.
So I think that's a study role, is what we decided last time.
I believe that's the case. Strange Beast?
Yes, that is the
Yeah.
case.
Cool. Okay, so 2 in study, so I have a 5 and a 4.
Excellent. We're going to go ahead and progress you. How many slices was that clock, Strange Beast?
I believe 6, right?
6 total, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 2 out of 6 right now.
All right.
Okay, 6 total, and you rolled a 5?
Yep.
Bump that forward 2.
Cool.
Excellent.
And then second action, I would like to do a training montage in study if I can.
Okay. Let me...
Just his actual action is to he's going to spend time reading up about the hospital that we are going to, that we all have kind of know is kind of our next step, and about its history and stuff in the library. And I'm hopeful that will work for a study training.
Right. I know I missed one session. Did I miss 2? Why are we going to the hospital?
So the hospital was written so in the Twinning Fire Saturday. It says that the melting critter recedes but accidentally grazes the face and neck of not Jake. The face stretches out like a beak. It says, "Well done, little one, but you should know I cannot be stopped. You delay the inevitable. Let me show you." It shoots out tendrils that attach to your clothing. Shows Twinning Fire in the desert. It says, "Have fun at Eastbrook." Eastbrook Hospital is the place that we're going. There's also going to be some hooks there. I've also posted a couple maps in the Discord as sort of a quick hat tip to be like, hey, this is probably where you're all going.
There's a map of the front-facing parts of Eastbrook as well as the hideout, Mary's Contradiction.
Yeah.
So that is why we're going to the hospital. Or I'm assuming y'all are going to the hospital.
I mean,
roll with whatever. But
yeah, like we'll roll with the whatever. Like if you are like, no, we're not going to the hospital, then we'll definitely do something else.
Chris's little brother could sort it out. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
So I need.
And that's me.
Sorry?
Oh, I said, and that's me. I'm complete.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did anyone else have postmortem actions? Any vices they wanted to indulge in? Projects they wanted to progress? Stress they wanted to blow off? Things like that. Looks like Karita has some.
I do. I spent the weekend with Maggie Greenwood over at the local university. She is the entomologist over there, and they had kind of a weekend event where they were trying to, not like recruit, but they were trying to engage the minds of the children. So some of the science fair kids went over there, just some of the nerdy kids went over there, and got to spend some time learning about the local flora and fauna and how they work together. And my mom really enjoyed getting me out of her hair for the weekend. So I went and spent and did that.
Excellent. What was your stress at before?
1.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not even gonna make you roll. It's gone.
Thanks.
And also give yourself an XP toward fluency, I believe. No, recognition. My bad.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Did anyone else have anything?
Yeah, I need to advance my drone.
Okay. And that was the sort of camcorder RC car guy. Did you want to run like a training montage or something with that, or did you want to just like roll it, call it good, or?
I think it's a progress clock.
Yeah, it's a progress clock.
Okay. So in that case, it'll be a roll with the relevant skill or the relevant attribute.
2.
2. Okay.
2?
I'm gonna
Well, the
say
other one was a 1. So.
yeah. So
Hey,
no,
yeah.
it's a 2. It's a 2. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and rule that you advance it 1. But if you don't get success on the like a 5 through 6 on the next one, you're going to go back a step because that might have been a slight error in constructing it.
Something might short.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down.
Okay. And then, did anyone else have anything? Because you get 2.
I don't really have anything else. No.
Anything for Chris?
I have.
Excellent. What would you like to do?
I'd like to give in to my hypervigilance by I and my siblings will not be leaving the hideout over the weekend.
Okay.
I'd
Can
also
you...
like to pose the question to Rachel. Is it possible to change the frequency on our radios?
Yeah.
I'd like to help do that if we can, because, I mean, as far as we know, nobody knows how to listen in except the person who gave them to us and whoever's working with them.
That's a good point. That seems like a good idea. I would recommend that it's probably a good idea to make sure that the other party's walkies are tuned to the same frequency, just in case there's anybody needs anything from them, or there's any crossover at some point. But other than that, that sounds like a really solid plan to me. So
And I believe that's a role of my worst attribute to reduce stress.
well, I would say Rachel could assist with that if she wanted, because she is sort of helping you indulge in that. So go ahead and give me a roll, either both of you or just Chris, whichever.
Okay, yeah, if it's a help, then I get an extra die, right?
Yep.
3. So that'll help a lot.
That will,
And then
actually.
my other one, I think, and this is also honestly in service of the hypervigilance, I'm going to spend a lot of time exercising, training montage for Streetwise,
Okay.
and kind of brushing up on my baseball swing.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and mark 1 XP on the attribute relevant to that, which I believe would be Streetwise.
So
Yeah, that's Streetwise.
Yeah.
And we've tuned the shortwave radios. I was typing something else. The purpose of sort of adjusting the shortwave radios were
Because Mrs. Lambert could have potentially listened in on the
okay
frequency that
to
they were
prevent
currently
listening
at.
in. Great,
Exactly.
perfect. Thank you.
And we're missing radios.
Indeed.
This
Am I
upsets
voicing
me
Ellie
greatly.
today, or is it you?
No. I can do it.
Okay.
Okay. Ellie comes up to you, Rachel. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to just presume, but we have more friends in this fight, and they've been helping tackle the same things. And so they needed a way to talk, and well, I went ahead and distributed them. I'm really sorry if that upsets you. I didn't mean to upset you. I wanted them to be okay, and especially since we need all the help we can get.
All right, I guess so.
All right, thanks, Rachel. I appreciate you, because like I didn't mean to just steal. I'm not stealing anything. I'm just want to make sure that people are safe. That's my main goal here.
All right.
All right.
I'll have to indulge later and write up strict rules for following radio etiquette.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to put that in the doc.
So, Chris, you haven't been home at all?
No, I'm not going back in that house after we fought the thing.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to say that we're gonna start the session with a different hook than I had planned. And y'all are going to be in school. It's toward the end of the day. And Chris, Jonathan, the secretary, comes in and says that you have a call in the office.
Who is it?
It's a Dr. Crap, was it Gardner? I apologize. I had a different hook planned. I wasn't expecting you to not go back
It's
to
okay.
class at all.
It's okay.
screw it, we'll call it Dr. Gardner.
Yep.
He used to work with your mom in the private practice. He recently retired. You would know this. And so Jonathan tells you that it's Dr. Gardner and asks you to come with him to the office.
Yeah, he gets as far as and there's just a Bugs Bunny dust cloud where he used to be in the seat.
Okay. So you get to the office and the phone is blinking. There's someone on hold. Jonathan picks up the receiver for you, hits the button, hands you the phone.
Hello?
Hi, Chris. It's Dr. Gardner. How are you doing today?
I don't know how to answer that. Is my brother okay?
That's actually why I'm calling. I haven't been able to get in touch with anyone at the hospital, or your mother at her private practice, or any of her associates. The hospital's just gone dark. I wasn't sure if you'd heard anything. She was supposed to have a surgical consult in the office today. And like the nurses and stuff called me because no one's been able to make contact. I heard from the receptionist this morning, but I didn't want to disrupt your school day until we knew what was going on, if we could find anything.
Okay, so you can't contact the hospital at all, and you can't find my mom?
I'm calling to see if she's gotten in contact with you.
No.
Okay. Okay, I need to make some phone calls after this. Do you have a place that you can go with your siblings where you'll be looked after? Friend's house? Something like that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. Stay calm. I will keep you posted. Go ahead and call your mom's office if there's any issues or anything. The receptionist will pass it on to me, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye. And he hangs up. So the hospital's gone completely dark. No one can get any calls in? That sounds pretty strange.
Okay, yeah, I would like to ask the secretary if I can call my mom at her office.
Jonathan looks very concerned. He's not used to seeing you this distressed, and he says, absolutely.
Okay, I'll punch in the number. Is there any answer or anything?
And you called her private practice, not the hospital, right? Like her office?
Right, her office.
Okay, yeah, the receptionist is going to pick up. Hello?
Hi, this is Chris Holstein. Is my mom there?
Hi, Chris. No, she hasn't been in. I actually got in contact with Dr. Gardner. We weren't sure if she was sick or what. She's missed a couple of appointments. We just want to make sure everything was okay.
She definitely would miss appointments. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Are you hung up?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, sounds like no one's seen her since she left your house. At least as far as her professional contacts are concerned.
Okay,
at this point, the bell is going to ring, and other students are going to start filing out into the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, I'll step into the hall and just wait for anybody from my friends group to appear.
Okay. The school day is done, so everybody is filing out of their classes, going to lockers, things like that. So y'all would run into each other fairly quickly.
You guys
heard that you got called on to the office, so we show up there, or at least I do.
Yeah, I think we'd all want to go find, or I would also want to go find Chris.
Perfect.
Me too.
Okay. So you guys are all together. Are you guys wanting to have this conversation in the hallway, or did you want to head to the hideout or somewhere else?
Yeah, I really don't want to talk here if I can avoid it.
Okay.
Okay, I think we would accept that for an answer.
Yeah.
And take your lead.
Definitely.
Okay. So where did you guys want to have the conversation? Where are we heading to next?
Back to the
Hideout.
hideout.
Yeah, hideout makes sense to me.
Okay. And I'm assuming you gave your younger siblings instructions to come back here when they're done with school.
Yeah, I think I can. Matt's got a handle on getting in there safely.
Excellent. Okay.
Getting her there safely, even.
Okay. So you're back in the hideout.
Okay.
So
Well, the
what's
good
up
news.
with your mom?
Nobody threatened me when I went to the principal's office.
That's good.
They just wanted to let me know that my mom has gone missing and also the hospital is completely out of communication. That's all.
That's all.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
how
I
is
still
your
have
brother?
memory.
I don't know that either. But
This doesn't sound good.
no, I think something's going down in there. I think whatever we fought in my house is in the hospital. I don't know how much of it is there, but I mean, we've fought one of them, two of them, however many were in the house. We fought a non-zero number of them, and we're still here. So maybe we could get in there and help them.
I can't burn a whole hospital down.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
suggest it. Which is to say, I wouldn't suggest burning the whole hospital down. There's a lot of people in there, and they might be, well. Okay,
But
so
they're not people anymore, I'm sure.
some of them aren't. You're right, Rachel. And that makes me really sad. But the thing is that I'm not sure what's going on, but there's something in that hospital.
Ellie's voice begins to steel more.
They're changing. I don't know how, I don't know why, but every time I think about the hospital, every single nerve in my skin just says, I can't go there. I can't go there. So if anything has to happen, it's gonna have to be all of you. I'll stay here and I'll make sure you can get there safely. These tunnels, they fold in ways that it's hard to explain. I'll just have to show you when we get there. But there's something in the hospital that is changing, and it's making it so much more dangerous.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
But it sounds like if nobody else is going to try to fix it, then we kind of have to.
Okay. So it sounds like your minds are made up as far as where you eventually do end up. Do you want to gather any more information, speak to any contacts, things like that?
I don't know. I'm of two minds. Kelso seemed like a sympathetic character, but his companion threatened us if we saw anything weird.
Companion Crosby? Gwyn. Ah,
And yeah,
okay. And Chris, you grew up here, yes?
yes.
So you've known Gwyn for a long time, and that's just sort of, she's very protective of her friends. And you sort of get the sense that that's the sort of thing that she would do if she was worried that your interference could get someone hurt. You don't get the sense that she's someone who would like go after you or anything like that. And I think at one point Ellie had mentioned that Kelso's mom is actually a contact of hers. Maria Malzuhar.
So I don't know. For my part, I'm pretty shaken and just ready to go. But I'm not
Okay.
making a call unilaterally.
Okay.
And I think if anybody knows anybody at the hospital that might be able to help us get an idea of what's going on inside, we should contact them. But if we don't have anybody, then we should probably try to go scout it out.
Okay. Well, it's at this point that Matt and Violet are going to come in from school. And I believe, I'd say there's probably a pretty good argument to be made that they would have heard that someone from your mom's professional life got in contact with you.
I imagine one look at my face and Matt will know something has happened.
Yeah. So Matt's going to come in and he's going to just immediately drop his bag. What's going on? What happened?
I went over and hugged them both. Look, I don't know what happened at the hospital, but I and some of my friends are going to go find out, and we're going to make sure Mom and Jake are okay.
Violet, she looks subdued just sort of down and drawn and kind of exhausted. More than you would think. And she just sort of looks up at you and just goes, Chris, something's wrong. My tummy's upset. I'm scared for Jake. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong. And my tummy hurts too. But we're not giving up. And until we know that something happened to him, we have to believe that he's okay. And as long as he is, I want to make sure he stays that way.
I don't like this. I want to be back on the beach at the Rock Fort with my brother, and I want Mom. And she just sort of goes into the space they've been in after school with the cot and just kind of cries. So it sounds as if, does anyone have any actions or anything, any prep work they want to do before they come in? Because I notice we've had Dorothea and possibly Eddie recover from a stint with blue thumb disease.
Blue
Just to
thumb.
say they just got here.
Blue thumb disease, by the way, is a nice in-game term where a character becomes so fascinated with their thumb due to the color of it that they are rendered invulnerable. It's mainly a way to say, it's okay, you're still in the party, even though you may be physically absent.
Yeah. Sort of, they've been here the whole time. It's fine. Anybody?
Where's my father in all of this? Remember we established he was the town doctor or one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that would depend on your father. Does he work at the hospital? Is he in private practice?
I figured private practice, but
Okay. What's
he
his
would
field?
have, I was thinking of going home and stealing his hospital badge.
Oh.
Oh, nice slot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he would have admitting privileges then. Excellent.
Yes.
That sounds like a pretty good prep step to take. So we're gonna wait for Rachel to do that, I'm assuming. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to do prep wise?
I'm gonna stop by my house and check in with my mom and just make sure that she's aware that I'm gonna be hanging out with my friends after school. I'm gonna grab some Giggles cookies, gonna get some sliced soda, and then I'm gonna head out.
And now I want a sliced soda.
I think
Ronnie's
Carter
master
would check
plan.
in and say that he's going to work on a school project with people and grab fresh pencils and his notebook.
Sounds good.
Can Eden and Dorothea flash back to downtime venting?
Yes. Neither of them has spoken up yet, as far as I can hear, though. So we'll go ahead and resolve those real quick once they are actually here.
I am here. I was waiting for turn to end.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
So did you have downtime things that you wanted to do?
For downtime, what I was going to do is actually I was going to get in touch with Chris.
Okay, he spent the weekend in the hideout.
Okay.
So you would have presumably gone to visit him there?
Yeah. And just sort of sat down with Chris and because I have had family members go missing and I have had weird tragedy and loss in my life. So I just kind of wanted to be that sort of supporting friend. I know what this is like. I know that this is really tough for you and just sort of just make sure he's doing okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And see if he needs anything.
Good. Did you have any stress prior to that?
I think I got rid of all my stress last game because our wonderful DM forgot to allocate us stress.
I'm not that nice. in that case, I want to give you something for that. That seems like it would be something that would be good. Go ahead and take 1 experience in Streetwise.
All right, will do.
We'll put that under the broad category of finesse. All right, and I don't think Andrew's actually here yet.
Andrew, you here?
It's okay.
That's okay.
Okay. So basically, to catch Dorothea up real quick, Chris received a call from one of his mother's colleagues. She hasn't shown up for work, and no one's been able to make contact with the hospital. The rest of the party thus far has determined that they're gonna go in. We're taking prep actions and so on and so forth. Any preparations you want to make before going in?
I don't have any preparations to make. The medical field is not quite my area of specialty, so I'm just gonna make sure that my personal med kit is well stocked, and even though we're going to be at the hospital, maybe I'll take time while we're at the hospital to borrow some supplies.
That seems like a good plan. Okay. Were there more prep actions y'all wanted to take? Any other ideas you have off the cuff?
I'd like to just real quick scramble through the junk strewn around the area and see if I can find something baseball bat like.
Sure. Give me a recognition roll. And is Chris going to be asking anybody to help him look? Like, are you all gonna like toss the hideout to see what's there?
Yeah, Carter would join in on that, I think.
Okay. So Carter, and then was Rachel also going to jump in? Because I thought I heard Ackley at one point.
Yeah. Actually, while I'm at home, I'm going to steal a lighter and a can of Aquanet.
Okay. So Chris, go ahead and take we'll call it 2 extra die on that roll.
6.
Excellent. You find a solid wood, still in pretty decent shape, Louisville Slugger, and there's also, I mean, it's a train. It's like a weird subfloor like underground train car. The rebar and steel pipe is what I'm saying. Take your pick.
Okay.
And was anyone else looking for anything in particular? Okay.
And then just stretch is my last thing.
Excellent. Okay, so at that point, it would sound like we are done with sort of the prep stuff for now? Okay.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Excellent. Sounds like y'all need to decide how you want to go in. There is, of course, the option of the front door. There is that sort of weird tunnel space under the hideout. I mean, there's back doors. I mean, it's a hospital. Like, take a pick.
Jake was in ICU. Am I aware of an entrance that's real close to there?
You've never been. Your mom's never taken you in any of the sort of back ways because she's a surgeon. The security is such that like bringing you in as like an unauthorized person could get her in trouble. So you've only really gone in the front entrance, unfortunately.
Okay, and sorry, I kind of jumped on Carter there too.
Oh, it's okay. I think I would want to kind of probe the front desk and see how busy the hospital seems to be and kind of get a feel for what's going on and what it's like today in there, I guess.
Okay.
Going small town hospitals in the 80s and 90s like I do. Because trust me, I was in them a lot. A bunch of kids walking in, one of them going up to the local candy striper who's manning the information desk and asking for the room his brother in, will not bat an eye and they'll let everybody up.
That's a good point. especially if one of the kids is the known child of one of the surgeons in the hospital. This is a small town after all. So it seems like folks are leaning toward Operation Front Door.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Walk me through it. You're just gonna like walk up, bike up, taking the bus.
Yeah, I think just walk in the front door and I don't know. I guess ask to see who we're here to see and see what kind of response we get.
Okay. So, y'all walk into the front lobby. The hospital is pristine. Everything's calm. No one behind the reception desk seems stressed. There's, fresh flowers. Everything is freshly mopped. It's a very sunny, quiet, nice, friendly place. There's a blonde lady at reception.
Hospital?
Yeah. There's a blonde lady at reception. And nice, smart-looking cardigan. Says, "Hi there. Can I help you with something?"
We'll let Chris ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here to see Dr. Holstein. I'm her son.
Oh, yes. Are you Chris or Matt?
Do I recognize this person?
You've seen her a couple of times. She's worked here for years. She's standard reception lady. She's been around. She knows your family, and she sees your mom pretty regularly.
Okay. I'm immediately suspicious that she doesn't know which one I am.
Okay.
But I'll say, I'm Chris.
Oh, good. I'm so sorry. It's easier with the little ones being twins. I have a hard time names and ages, that sort of thing. So your mom, as far as I know, is in with your brother. He had been in intensive care, but he's recently been taken over to the respiratory therapy wing. Yeah, I'm not sure how much more I can legally say, but once they're done, things will be fine. If you want to head over there, I'm sure your mom will be able to talk to you.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. Have you seen her today?
She's been, I haven't seen her, but when I came in for my shift, the lady I was relieving, she came in and mentioned that your mom had been back in the ICU with your brother. Everyone's heart's gone out to him. We're hoping he makes a quick recovery.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So it'll just be, if you want to go straight back, and then when you get to sort of the what's the word? GM is having a moment.
Which word?
The nurse's station. That's the one. Yep. There we go. The nurse's station at the end of the main hallway, and just go ahead and swing a left. And someone will be able to direct you.
Okay, thanks again.
Of course. And she goes ahead and gestures at the hallway you need to go down.
Okay, and I'll kind of try to do the kid with his group of kid friends thing and be conversational and goofing around. But what I'll ask is, did she seem off to anybody?
She didn't.
No.
I don't really know her, so I mean, she seems like a nurse to me.
Nope.
She seemed a little off to me. It seems weird that she didn't know who you were.
No, she did know both names.
Yeah, but that she didn't recognize you.
That's true. You are noticing there's no
I wouldn't recognize any of you guys in a hospital. Maybe Jeff.
But wait, so she asked, which isn't your brother in the hospital though?
One of them, Jake.
Okay, well never mind then. I rescind my. Everything seemed fine. She seemed totally normal. Everything's normal in this building, I think. We can all go home.
Okay, then I will not try to surreptitiously watch our back and see if she's following us. We'll just continue on.
Speaking of things being a little weird, there's no announcements going on over the intercom. Nothing. No beeping. Just quiet.
Oh, that is
calm.
weird.
That's odd.
I mean, to be fair, you are going, past like the infusion clinic, radiology, that kind of thing. But as you pass surgery, you note that all you're hearing is steady heart monitors. Everything's going really well, it seems like.
But where are they? The ones with the honey, the rot?
A good
They're
question.
contained, right?
So you reach the nurse's station at the end of the main hallway. And there's just another, friendly receptionist and, a couple of nurses going about their business, calmly charting. One of them's whistling. And, they just direct you down progressive care over toward the ICU. And again, even in the ICU, no one's coding. All the crash carts are perfectly stocked. Like, nothing's backlogged. Everyone's really happy and calm and mellow.
I love the look on Karina's face right now. I just have to say that.
Tori's too.
Contained.
I don't.
I've seen hospitals like this, but mind you, I was in intense pain at the time, so take it with a grain of salt.
And Chris's face is Karina's face. Oh, sorry, Tori, go ahead.
So do you asked if they were containing these people? Do they even know what they'd have to contain? Like, do they know what we know? Did anybody else see the thing at Chris's house besides us? Does anybody else know what's going on besides us?
As
He
you
said there are some others that are working this like we are.
Yeah, but the adults, like, if the adults don't know, we don't know if. And Chris, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, but we don't know if his brother or mom brought this into the hospital. I don't
think they
spend a lot of.
did.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in the hospitals, but I've watched St. Elsewhere. It's like usually a lot louder than this.
My mom gets asked to work here because she's good in a crisis.
It's weird to have hospitals where nobody seems to be sick. That's strange, right? Like,
Yeah, like, don't nurses usually like run around and there's like noises and like this is like when I watch General Hospital with Ma. Shit, it's quiet and it's calm and it's weird.
right.
But even on General Hospital, there's drama.
So, as you pass out of progressive care and into the ICU proper, that sense of weird calm is still there. And respiratory therapy, which is where the initial receptionist pointed you at, is down the hallway. And as you approach it, speaking of Chris's mom, she sort of backs out of a door with her arms up like this. It looks like she's scrubbed up for surgery and she's laughing to a colleague. Calm, relaxed. And just bumps straight into Chris. Oh my goodness,
Contaminated.
Chris, hello. How are you?
I've been better. How are you? How's Jake?
Oh, he's doing fine. We just have to do some minor surgery in the new operating theater. He'll be great, right as rain. And the corner of her mouth kind of flutters a bit. Okay, well, I have to head that direction and get him sorted out, okay?
I nudge
I'll see you at
Chris,
home.
I nudge Chris when I see the lip flutter. So Chris's mom, can we see
Oh,
Jake before
call me
he
Joan,
goes in?
sweetheart. I'm afraid he's already under. But I believe there is some space in the lower gallery if you wanted to watch the surgery.
I don't.
Oh, come on in. It'll be a good time. And she's still scrubbed up. She's gesturing in. She leads you through the door that says respiratory therapy.
Oh, hey, Mom, have you seen Matt today?
What?
Well, weren't you looking after him, sweetheart?
I'm going to play along, but I hate this. I will allow myself to be herded into the theater.
Okay. And okay.
So Chris's mom, is there anything we can bring Jake from home?
Oh,
that
calm
he
me
would
down,
like?
sweetheart. He'll be fine. You don't have to bring him anything. He'll be right as rain and ready to go home in a couple of hours.
Okay.
Ready to go home in a couple of hours?
Yeah. He's going to be just fine. The installation's going beautifully. And
Has
she leads
her
you
mouth
in.
done that thing again?
Installation.
No. Oh, come on in and see. It's honestly just quicker to show you. And she heads in.
I'll grab the back of her gown.
Oh, Chris, honey, now I have to change. Scrub up again.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, darn. Okay, well, go on in and get a seat. They'll get you situated.
How many surgeries do you do where the patient's ready to go home in a couple of hours?
I mean, for outpatient, a lot. It's pretty common.
I have a question. Is there an unattended wastebasket somewhere?
Many. Yeah.
Why is that one on fire?
In front of her?
No! God!
Okay. So what I'm understanding then is Rachel is slipping sort of a little bit back down the hallway. I'm assuming you're not wanting to light up the ICU specifically. I'm assuming somewhere in progressive care.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can slip into one of those rooms if you'd like.
Okay.
Joan's colleague, the one that she was speaking to when she crashed into Chris, is sort of, it lets her back in to go scrub up again, and sort of like gestures to have y'all make a little bit of room for him, and he backs through the doors into the operating theater so that way he's still clean hands and stuff. Also, I know every medical professional in the back, who's watching and whatnot, is like, oh my god, this is not how any of this works. I'm sorry. I am but a small creature. I don't know.
I jump in front of him and I shake his hand and I go, I hope everything goes really well for this surgery.
Well, thank you. Go ahead and head on in. I need to get washed up. But go on ahead in, get situated. And he heads back into the door where Joan went to reprep.
Okay, and can I peek in the door and see if Jake is in fact unconscious on a table?
You can.
Okay, what do I see?
The room's mostly darkened. So there's just sort of a singular spotlight in the center of a round room. There's sort of low bleachers. They're not really bleachers. Like think old-fashioned operating theater, like circa 1940s, 30s, somewhere in there. Pristine, comfortable seating. Like this is. You get the sense that this is supposed to be like a place where something is demonstrated, taught, that kind of thing. So there's some low seating along the bottom that is slightly above where the operating table is. And that's where they were suggesting that you sit. You can tell the room is like weirdly tall, but it's dark. So you can't see. The only light in the room, and there's, a lot of shadow and a lot of if this room weren't pristine, the shadows would be really upsetting. But there's a single light, like an operating light, that is illuminating a prone figure that's on sort of the operating table with a slightly elevated platform. You can't quite see who it is.
Who else in here?
As far as I know, Chris stuck his head in. Rachel's down the hallway in progressive care doing some minor arson. And the rest of y'all haven't told me where you are.
Okay, I'm grabbing Chris and I'm going, we can't go in there. We cannot go in there. It's not safe in there. We can't go in there. It's not good.
Yeah, I think I'm with Dorothea on this one and kind of in the same spot.
Not Dorothea.
Ronnie.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I am Ronnie.
It's okay,
Yeah.
we look alike.
Chris, you hear from the table Josh's voice. Sorry, Jake's voice. Chris? Chris, is that you?
Yeah, it's me, buddy. You okay?
I'm gonna be just fine. We're all gonna be just fine.
Yeah, who told you that?
Mom.
I don't know if that was Mom, kiddo.
Well, she said I could be in 2 places. Where are you? Can't see you. Too bright.
I'm right outside the door, just making sure you're going to be okay.
Oh, I can't move. It's like I'm stuck.
That's normal. We're going to figure this out, and you're going to be all right.
Rachel, what are you up to?
Well, I'm hoping a fire alarm goes off.
Weirdly, no. But also, the fire isn't extending past the trash can. That's kind of weird. And the air filtration system just seems to be really on point. So like you've got a nice little like, you know, New York City heater, but it's not really spreading like it should. It's almost like there's been like a flame retardant spread over everything. It's a little,
Now I'm concerned.
yeah.
I'm gonna root around in my bag for a while to see if I can come up with something.
Okay. Stranger Piece, could I get a progress clock with that is 3 out of 6.
3 out of 6?
Yep.
All right, sure thing.
Thank you.
I'm specifically looking for goggles that I can polarize.
Remind me of your starting equipment. It'll be on the
Um,
character sheet, I believe, in the upper right.
Field specific kit, big old junk drawer, canvas medical bag, personal library.
Oh,
I
those
just
are
kinda dumped them all into
absolutely
my
in the
big-
junk drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
I've just kind of glummed them all together into my massive bag that I drag everywhere.
Perfect. But yeah. So you have your polarized, was it goggles?
Yeah. I don't
Operating.
think we're seeing things right.
That seems like an astute observation. Are you going to stay off on your own, or are you going to go check in on the operating theater kids?
I'll return to them with my goggles on, dragging my bag.
Okay. Jeff, you want to bump that clock up to 4 for me?
Sure thing.
How are we doing, friends? What do we want to do?
Ronnie is now aggressively grabbing Chris and saying, look, Jake is here. That's not Jake. Jake is here. We have to find Jake. That's not him. We have to go.
Okay, where is he?
I don't know, but he's here, but he's not there.
Chris? Chris,
Yeah.
are you there?
Still here.
Chris, everything smells sticky.
I don't know if I can take the chance that that's not him, Ronnie. What if it's like in the house and it's him, but it's not him, but it's half of him?
What if some of us go look for him and
Jeff, bump it up to 5.
try to stall here?
That's a good idea. Let's do that. We've got to find him. We've got to find him.
The lights go
Do I
out.
see anything differently?
The power's been cut.
What?
Progress clock's done. The only light that comes back up is that one light in the operating theater. And there's a clap. And then all the rest of the lights in that room come up, and you can see the entire room. It's much taller than you anticipated. This is a proper gallery. At the top of the room, there's a series of glass windows where everyone can look down on the subject. The faces behind the glass are paper and carrion crows and paper wasps that aren't wasps and feathered, fetid paper mache things. And in a single motion, Jake stands up on the table, claps, giggles, and the lights cut again. When they come back up, you're somewhere else. It's still the hospital, but it's different. The walls have this sort of layer of rusted chain link and lime, and there's a rhyme, not as in lyrics, rhyme as in frost, of mead that's gone off, it smells like, but it looks like it could be overheated honey or maybe blood serum, you can't quite tell. And the walls where they're not chain link look pulpy. How now, brown cow?
Happened to the fire, not the fire I set. The little boxes on the wall that have the hose and the axe in them.
You see, the interesting thing about chain link is that it makes a really excellent trellis. And hospitals have their own sorts of vines, don't they? You know, all that tubing and all those wires, and basically the fire alarms and those cases have been replaced by, I mean, you wouldn't be entirely wrong to call them rose bushes, but they're not any rose you've ever seen. They're not any flower you've ever seen, and you get the sense that you really don't want to be touching that.
I go looking for one of the carts and start digging through them for syringes or scalpels or anything sharp.
Okay. Just before
as
that
well
happens,
as,
though. Just before that,
Mhm.
reality just shifted around all of you. I'm going to need a resistance roll.
Okay, how do we do
One
that?
second. You are going to roll fluency. So basically what this is if you look at your character sheet, there's that first row, or that first column of dots that is separated by a line.
This is with your skills.
Right. And basically what your fluency is going to be the number of dots in that column.
Another way you can calculate it is how many skills do you have under an attribute? So if you have dots in Shiver and Suck Up, your attribute for fluency is 2.
Right.
So what exactly do they roll, Skillsy?
They're going to be rolling fluency to resist the sheer amount of stress induced by the fact that they're basically in the hospital from Silent Hill, but make it worse.
Okay.
I only have one.
That's okay.
I've rolled a 1.
Okay.
I have Ariatic Will,
Oh,
so I get an extra D to roll. So
Excellent.
I have rolled a 4.
Excellent. So I have a
Or
I rolled a 5.
excellent. So sorry, was it Carter got a 1?
Carter got a 1.
Yes.
Chris, what did you roll?
I rolled 5.
All right.
Excellent. Okay, so we have. Okay, so Carter's the only one that had like a real struggle with that,
I mean, that follows.
and that's fair.
That's
That,
fair.
That works. You are the skeptic. So
Can I assist
With
using
resistant,
planning excellence, knowing like the person who most struggles with it?
you can. What I'm going to say is that you can assist after the fact. So he's Carter's going to suffer the consequences, but then you can help with the recovery. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
Carter, left to your own devices, you start having a panic attack, and barring intervention, you're going to take 2 stress.
Okay.
No, 2.
Okay,
I'm
and-
being nice.
Oh, okay. Cool. I just wanted to flag that. Okay. Cool.
This is the first time we've made them roll like this.
That's true. We're going to be nice.
I'm going to be nice.
We're going to be nice.
Yep, I planned for this knowing that something was going to be off with the hospital, just like it started to be off with my house and the other house.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna kind of try and bring Carter back around, like in the language of the skeptic. Like, look, I know this flies in the face of everything we know about reality. We also know that things that have happened in the last week also fly in the face of reality. We have to be able to roll with the punches, or it's going to eat us alive. We need you with us to help. We'll get through it together.
Bravo.
Okay. Do we have a roll associated with it?
Go ahead and heal 1 stress, Carter.
Okay.
That was really well done.
Carter's gonna say, "You're right. Whatever they drugged us with before, it must be the same thing this time, and we can't lose our heads."
Perfect. Okay.
And so let's go ahead and resolve for the rest. Rachel, what did you get?
Grim?
4. Am I not being heard?
No,
Yeah,
you were. I was
We
just
just heard you now.
Yeah, we just heard you now.
Oh,
There we
make
go.
sure folks understood the roles. Everybody who got under or between a 3 and a 5, go ahead and take 1 stress.
Okay.
Awesome.
And that should be everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So, where do you go? What do you do? Who do you see?
So I've got Rogue Pharmacist,
Rogue pharmacist?
and I am
Okay.
Yep. And I am digging through all those carts, like I said, to find syringes and whatnot. And what I want to do is sort of mix up any kind of drugs that I can find that I can use as like either a poison or a sleeping agent. Something that if we have to like hurry up and quick jab somebody so we can get away, I'm preparing a bunch of those and just getting them together.
Okay. Sounds good. Is anybody else gonna take stock of the surroundings, ransack anything?
Is there a sink? What do the sinks look like?
They're really rusted. Think like old utility sink that's in a barn that hasn't been touched in 20 years kind of thing. Like, we're talking a lot of rust, some cobwebs, and everything sort of has this patina of the gross sort of rotten over thick mead honey stuff. You look at it and you're like, that's going to be sticky.
Right. I'm looking for gloves. I probably have gloves in my bag, but I'm looking for other gloves.
You have gloves, and I'm quite sure that if Dorothea has found any carts that have medications that are useful, there's probably some gloves on there.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to turn the sink on.
Okay. It just
There's water.
There's a little bit of water at the start, like when you're clearing stagnant water out of pipes, but it eventually just starts running with this sort of like, what if you, it's sort of like wood pulp and honey, but thinner. You don't want to drink that.
No, I didn't want to drink it anyway. I wanted to try to get water.
Yeah.
Is there rubbing alcohol on the cart?
I would think so, yeah. At the very least, there's alcohol pads.
That's not quite what I'm looking for, but I will take it if that's all I can get.
We'll go ahead and say that there's a couple bottles of isopropyl there for you.
Okay. I will take those.
Okay.
Have one in my hand and shove the rest in my bag.
Okay, there were 3 total, so. Okay, so, I'm assuming then that y'all are gonna want to move elsewhere through the hospital just to find out, you know, if there's a way out, find Chris, or find Jake, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess we
Yes.
need to decide too, is our goals to find Jake and get out at this point
And my mom.
as a group.
That's
not,
mine.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of nervous mumbling, a lot of leaning against the walls and just being like, oh gosh, oh no, oh boy, oh heck, and just kind of staying very close to Chris, and we've got to find him, and then I think I know where he might be, and a lot of mumbling.
I think Carter's in. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What happened to the gallery? What does it look like now?
It looks weirdly as pristine as it did, but empty now.
I think Carter's interested in. You said there were plants, right? Like rose. They're like roses.
Yeah,
The
vining.
walls?
Yeah, there's sort of vegetation vining. Some of it's sort of plant-like. Some of it looks like it might have once been like oxygen tubing, IV tubing, you know, various hospital
Did-
tubes.
Are there any are there any flowers on the vines, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, actually. You look up at the corner above the door to the operation gallery, the surgical gallery. And where there would normally be an intercom, there's this sort of weird cat-faced looking flower. Cat-facing in plants is when multiple flowers grow together and sort of fuse and then open up and they're not quite right. So if you've ever had a tomato that's like extra loby, that's from a cat-faced flower, and that's sort of what you're seeing there. Is it's like a sort of twinned flower with this weird kind of membrane where the speaker should be.
And it's not. That's high up on the wall, right?
Yeah, there looks like a couple of buds of what could potentially be something similar, but they're not blossoming yet.
I think Carter would want to keep an eye out as we move through and try to take a sample of a flower if possible. But I don't want to try to climb up there when we have a sense of urgency right now.
Okay. Dovetailing with what Rachel had asked me earlier, there is where the fire alarms were, there are little buds that look like they could be cut off if you wanted.
Yeah. I think he'd want to take one of those off and take it with
Okay.
us.
You do so, and where you cut the vine, it's sort of that substance that's kind of everywhere just sort of oozes up and calluses over to sort of seal the vine to protect it.
Okay. I think then we probably want to start moving through the halls, right? And see if we can find Jake and
Okay.
I guess start calling for Tim. It seems like maybe
I
he's in.
I think calling out might be a bad idea.
Yeah, so I guess how do we want to move through the halls?
Ronnie, you seem to have a sense of, I don't know, a connection to this kind of thing. Do you think you can find him?
Yeah, I definitely could try. There are three paths. Where's the chapel? We should We should go towards the other side of the hospital, not here. Just the chapel, maybe? Yes.
That's good enough for me.
Okay. And I keep mumbling and kind of just looking around and just trying to take in everything and listen to everything.
Okay, so you guys move. You notice that the familiarity, Chris, that you had with the hospital previously is sort of that map doesn't work for this setting. You're somewhere else. But it is weirdly well diagrammed at what could be considered nurses' stations among piles of sort of soggy paper cranes and a couple of corvid feathers. There's like a directory, like a "you are here" sort of thing. And you get the idea that you should continue going down this hallway. And just as you move through, you notice that this place is weirdly vacant, but it's noisy. All of the coding and stuff that you should have been hearing in the other hospital, it seems like the whole hospital is coding. Those flowers are actually functioning as intercoms, but it doesn't sound like language. It's calling for things that don't make sense together. The syntax is wrong.
I'm gonna record this.
Okay. All right.
So I root around in my bag for a tape recorder and stick a blank tape in there and record it for a while as we're walking.
Okay. There are also the crash carts are untouched and still stocked, even though some of them look infected somehow. But there's no staff responding to the patients that it sounds like they're coding. And there's just not a lot of actual movement, despite everything in this building seeming like it's screaming for help. As you pass...
Grab as many.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna grab as many of the latex gloves as I can and pass them out to everyone, and just tell everyone, don't touch anything if your hands are uncovered. And so I just take just handfuls and shove them in my bag. So if anybody breaks theirs, if anybody's gloves rip, we can just shove another one on there. Don't touch anything. We don't know what this stuff is. We don't know what it's gonna do to us. We don't know if it's gonna put those not us things into our bodies. So just keep your hands protected. Don't let anything drip on you. And in fact, I go rummaging through another cart and find hospital gowns. And tell everybody to put on hospital gowns so that their arms and clothes and everything are covered.
Gladly.
These have been used, but they're the sort of gowns that patients would use in when they're going in to get x-rays and stuff. There's no fluids or anything gross on them. They were just in a laundry cart. They're not clean, but they're also not covered in the grossness. So
Just when you thought Chris's face couldn't fall any further, it grabs a shovel and starts digging.
Oh, buddy.
I'm allergic to latex.
Oh. Okay, so do we have any of those plasticky ones? Because the nitrile gloves weren't as
Vinyl.
well. Yeah, the vinyl ones, the vinyl ones. Do we have any of those?
I believe, bearing in mind that I was born in 90, so my personal experience with this is very limited. I believe that in this context they would have been used more for cleaning as opposed to medical purposes.
Okay. So is there a cleaning cart nearby?
There is.
I
don't
to rummage
recommend messing with any of the spray bottles, but there are gloves on it.
Okay. The spray bottles, if anything, I was going to use for fire setting, but given that Rachel has had a hard time setting fire to things, I have a feeling that's not going to be useful. That or spraying things into people's eyes. But I grab the vinyl gloves and hand them to Chris and go, okay, you just keep this box of gloves on you. These are yours.
Thanks, Dorothea. I'm gonna keep them with me, but I'm not gonna wear any because I'm terrified of like trying to save somebody, swing the baseball bat, and the gloves come off with the bat.
That's a good point. Okay.
Be careful, okay? Just don't let anything touch you.
I'll do my best. Thank you.
This stuff looks infectious.
Speaking of infectious,
Well, that's the worst segue ever.
I love it.
you left it right there.
Oh, God.
A man with a cart comes out of a room nearby. And he just looks like a guy. He's just smiling, wearing scrubs, pushing a little cart. Looks like it's got maybe infusion bags or saline, something. Some kind of plastic bagged substance on there. He's just pushing him down the hallway, doesn't even make any notice, y'all. It's a perfectly normal day for him. And he starts to walk past. And we'll continue unless stopped.
I sort of lean without touching the wall, I sort of go up against the wall so that I'm out of the way of the cart, but I'm not going to interfere with this man. If he's not talking to us or messing with us, I want nothing to do with him.
I
He's
want
just
one of
sort of...
those bags.
Okay. Are you going to stop him? Are you going to grab a bag? Or how are you going to...
grab a bag?
Okay. He continues on his merry little path and started singing under his breath. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers?
What does the bag say?
Jeepers. It doesn't.
It doesn't say. It's just...
You look at the fluid inside, and it under other circumstances, you would assume it's blood serum, but it's probably that honey stuff. And there's this sort of weird paper mache in it that occasionally looks like it's got printed words on. There's like a current inside the bag. And as you sort of flip it in your hands, you start noticing that it's the fluid inside isn't moving correlative to your movements. It's moving on its own, and the text sort of flashes.
Not what I was hoping it was.
Yeah, makes itself visible. You catch words like infection and blood and platelet and honey and hive and fetid and feral and paper.
Can I say I never want to hear the word fluid ever again?
Fluid.
What?
The word fluid.
Fluid. That's what I thought she said.
I think I could go the rest of my life without ever hearing that word again.
So yeah, the bag doesn't have anything that you really want in it.
No, okay. I yeet it down the hall.
And he just sort of... Oh, go ahead.
As you cock your arm back, I say, well, I mean, if it's like blood plasma or something, maybe this is like a base part of whatever it is we're fighting. We have a safe place to store stuff like this. Maybe we can study it and find a weakness.
I'm not putting this in my bag.
I'll carry it.
Okay. I'm
going to grab like 3 trash bags out of a nearby trash can and hold them out. I'm going to stuff them together and hold them out for Chris to put the thing into the trash bags, just in case it leaks.
That's a good plan.
Then I'll load that assembly into my backpack.
Okay. So, little Mister with the cart continues on down his merry little way and past where y'all came from. You're noticing the electricity seems to be doing some weirdness as well, cutting in and out. There's occasionally dimming, that sort of thing. You're wondering if the backup generators are working right. But as you continue down the hallway, because I'm assuming that's what you're doing is?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the chain link that once was proper walls, there's, the standard stuff that you would expect in a hospital. There's your board of trustees, your board of directors, your chairman of the bird, that sort of thing. You go down, there's a mural that looks a little odd, but it's there. By the way, if at any point you want me to stop and explain stuff further, if you want to examine anything, let me know. I'm just gonna glaze right over it unless you stop me. But you continue down the hallway past the mural of the
mural move.
You're not quite sure. Looking at it, you're a little curious as to why there would be a mural of some carrion crows going after a dead horse that's still moving. Or it's got the impression of movement. Every now and then, you're pretty sure out of the corner of your eye you see one of the birds blink, but other than that, no. Not that you can tell.
It's enough. I'm ignoring it.
I'm walking on this far side of the hall away from it.
Okay. You continue down the hallway to a point where it's one of those things where the hallway comes up on a blank wall and it goes left or right. To the left, there is, a lot of your standard hospital fare. There's, infusion clinic, director's office, you got your surgery suite, all that stuff. But to the right, there's just the one arrow.
And anything, or is it just an arrow?
It says something, but it's hard to read. You recognize the word, and it means things in other contexts, but when you think it or speak it here, you read one thing and your bones say another. The word is chapel, but it makes your bones whisper things like tumor and infection and locus and locust and peace and scouring and variable and loss and solution.
We wanted the chapel for some reason.
We need to go to the other side of the hospital. He's on the other side of the hospital.
Is that towards the chapel or away from the... Because that... I don't feel good about either direction, honestly. I'm not...
If you peek around the corner, you can see that the door to the chapel is just right there. If you want to check it out, it's not going to take terribly long.
Well, Ronnie, you brought us this far, so I guess we can go ahead.
No, not the chapel. The other way.
Not the chapel?
No, it's... No, definitely the other way.
We got to go in the chapel now.
I'm going with whatever Ronnie says.
Yeah, same.
It just makes me feel really icky in my tummy. I don't like it. Maybe I had a bad experience, but let's just try the other way first, okay?
Look, we can come back if we don't find what we're looking for the other direction.
You get the sense that you can sort of understand something that's coming out of the intercom for once. Paging Director Holstein. Paging Director Jake Holstein.
Y'all hear that?
They grow up so fast these days. Let's go!
It's on the other side.
Okay. So are we turning right or left? Right toward the chapel, left toward everything else.
Left.
I'm with
Well,
Ronnie.
I think we're going left. Yeah.
We'll
I'm
bow
gonna-
to peer pressure.
You don't
I'm
have
gonna-
to.
You don't have
you
to.
can go
at
it alone.
all.
I'm gonna grab out my in my pack. I have in my field kit. I have one of those big X-File torches, the flashlights, and so I'm gonna grab one of those out. I'm not gonna turn it on just yet, but with the electricity being what it is, I'm gonna have it prepped and ready.
Chris, hearing your brother being paged like that is a little distressing. I'm gonna have you take on 1 stress. And Ronnie, you're having a bit of a stressful time too.
I am.
Take 1 too. Okay, so y'all are heading right, or is someone checking out the chapel?
No, we're going right. I'm
sorry, left.
splitting the party.
I mean, there's no failure state here, so regardless, you will continue on. Is there a particular? Was there an arrow of interest, like something that you want to follow from that wall?
The director's office.
Yeah, the page overhead said director. I feel like that's where we should go.
Okay.
Or maybe we'll hit the Not Jake. What were the other options again? The infusion clinic, the director's office, and what else?
Basically, literally everything else. The only thing that's over here where you're at is the chapel.
Okay.
Everything else is in the other direction.
Yeah, let's go to the director's office and we'll either find Jake or not Jake.
Okay. So we are following the signs?
Yes, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So you continue to pass, different murals, woodcuts, artwork. It's a little weird. The portrait of the chairman of the board is a bird? Or maybe not. It looks like a man when you look at it properly.
For a hell hospital, this place is really, really well decorated.
And you start to, there's a weird thing that you start to notice as you move down the hallways. It sort of looks like you're not quite sure if they're limbs or bodies or what have you, but almost as if the chain link of the wall was skin. There's sort of that impression of like, if you pressed your hand, like if you stretched out a balloon and pressed your hand against, like, what that would look like from the other side. It's
almost like an eardrum.
Yeah. Things like arms, hands. It's very sort of slow, sluggish motion, almost like as if the walls were Venus and the hospital had a pulse. But they're lumpy, like not flesh, more like if people were piñatas and vectors and puzzles and yeah. And as you continue on, there's another blank wall in front of you that is sort of laid in between another 2 sets of arrows. Again, the left is going to lead you to the director's office. The right is going to lead you somewhere else. But the woodcut itself, at a glance, Carter, you would have seen it before. And you have to do a double take at it because it looks like a woodcut you've seen of Vlad the Impaler eating dinner. But it's not Vlad. The woodcut that I'm referring to is sort of a figure looking out over his work, shall we say. Given what you mistook it for, I'm going to let you fill in the gap there. But it's not Vlad Tepish. It's sort of a beaked, robed thing. You can't tell if they're robes or wings quite yet. And you sort of get the sense that you can see the other parts of the woodcut twitching, as if what he's viewing as he eats his dinner is still suffering. And there's just sort of twitch to it, and you notice the ceiling is sort of starting to drip the paper. That's sort of stuff that started all of this and came up through Chris's pipes. Again, left to the director's office. Right to... that word is there again. The one that makes your bones sing.
I think we need to keep going left.
The director's office, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you
Carter
turn...
kind of keeps, like, looks over his shoulder at the woodcut as we go past it and is not having a good time with it.
Now Chris's bat. Does he still have it?
He does.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Oh,
Just
yes.
making sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine Chris would have put it down in here.
Yeah, I don't think I would have brought the rebar into a hospital, but the baseball bat I could kind of pass off as, oh yeah, we just got done at practice and I came straight here.
That's true.
But it is not behind my backpack now. It's in my hands and ready to rock.
Okay. So, in front of you is a door. And that section of wall is oddly normal. The door in front of you is mostly frosted glass. And just says, Director Holstein.
I think we want to try the door, right?
I mean, that's his name, right?
Or do you want to try to break the glass and go through next to the door? Just thinking outside the box.
I think we could just try to open the door first.
I'm
That seems
gonna just
reasonable to
open
me.
the door. And I'm still very nervously just kind of fidgeting and mumbling and I'm so nervous. Oh no.
Carter will walk up and just try to open the door.
It swings open. Non-issue. There's not even a lock on this door. It's just a handle. You push it. You go right in.
Yeah. And in Carter will go at least.
All right. I'll follow Carter in.
Chris, they're going into your little brother's office.
I'm going to look at Ronnie.
I kind of shake my head and yeah, let's go in.
You hear the intercom again. Paging. As you go in, it cuts off as
Well,
the
that's not
doors.
his name, at least. They're calling somebody else.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in here? What's it look like?
Is
What's going
everyone
on in
inside?
the room?
Or are people still in the hallway?
I went in. I don't know about Ronnie.
Yeah, I went in.
I
Okay.
was probably the last one in.
Okay.
Dorothea definitely went in.
Okay. Inside is, in comparison to the rest of the hospital, a weirdly clean space. There's sort of an oil painting on one wall, but it's the sort of painting where it wasn't brushes, it was done with a palette knife sort of thing. So it's very textured, that sort of thing. There's a clean desk. The chain link on the walls in here isn't as rusted. You can still see that the walls were once sort of a soothing gray. The tile floors, there's still dripping coming from one corner of the ceiling. The same viscous fluid that's pretty much everywhere, but it hasn't quite taken over here as much. And at the desk, Chris, you're going to notice first that, yes, Jake is sitting at that desk. However, I would like for you to... I apologize, I might be leaning a little bit too hard on my D20 system this year. Yeah, you're just going to notice your brother at the desk.
Okay, can I assess him to see if he is in fact human?
You can assess.
6.
Okay. You can tell that this is mostly actually your brother.
So like what, he's got a bionic arm or?
It's sort of... Have you ever seen a production where projectors were involved? Where like a sort of scene was overlaid with a projector over top of what's being acted out on stage?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Have you seen Across the Universe?
No.
Okay. Basically what it does is it creates this effect of what they did in Across the Universe is basically it's someone's face with, I believe it was footage of like bombs dropping and whatnot going across. You get the sense that the footage, which is what's sort of running the show at the moment, is not your brother, but it's been overlaid like a papier-mâché mask. Does anyone want to assist or roll their own assess?
Yes.
I would like to roll Shiver.
Ronnie.
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can assist with the assess also because I have 2 dots in assess.
So that's Rachel and Carter helping out with the assist, and Ronnie with the shiver.
Okay.
And give me a second. Sorry. I don't have any dots in assess, so I'll go ahead and let you guys
You
do that.
can always burn stress.
That's true.
I'm stressed enough. Can I use a study?
Okay. As far as Dorothea's study, I got you, Ronnie. As far as Dorothea's study roll, make the case for it. How is study? What are you studying versus assessing? Because really, I think this would be overall. If we're playing true to mechanics, which we would like to eventually get to, it would be recognition overall.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay. Carter and Rachel?
I have a 6.
Damn.
Okay. So,
I have a 6.
Damn.
Mm.
okay. So given that, and given Ronnie also got a 6, I'm gonna combine the lot and just give you a lay of the room.
Wait, the players are the mark of the beast.
Oh shit. So basically, you get the sense that what Chris saw is the case. It's basically sort of like a thin layer of wet paper mache operating his brother, both internally and externally. It is actually his brother there, but not just his brother. He needs to be cleansed, expiated, something like that. But you also notice that painting. Should it bulge out that far? Should it have a face? Should that face look like Joan? Should it be twitching? Should the twitching hand sticking out of it be actual flesh?
Cool.
Like all these questions.
I was prepared for some of this.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. This is great.
I don't think Carter's going to be that much use in this situation because he would not be processing any of this particularly well.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have Carter roll a resistance on against like
Okay.
using. I'm gonna have Carter roll recognition, to resist
Okay.
the stress.
Recognition we're good at, so
Okay.
I have a 5.
Oh, good. You only take 1 stress.
Okay.
I'm very glad for you. Y'all are having a hard day. So, if nobody has anything that they want to do, basically,
Yes.
from the jump when they walk in the room, Jake is going to speak.
Rachel has something.
Okay.
Oh, okay. If he's going to speak, never mind. I'll wait till he speaks.
Okay. Jake is going to look up from what he was drawing on the desk. You're not sure if there's paper there. It doesn't actually seem like it matters. But he looks up at you. He says, "Hello, brother. How are you?"
It's been a long day. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing quite well. How is dear Violet?
She misses you.
Oh. And how are you, actually?
I miss you too. How long?
That isn't what I said. You notice one of his ears is sort of, the HVAC kicks on and one of his ears sort of flutters like paper.
Where's Mom?
Why, look to your right. The hand in the painting sort of shudders and fights out another couple of inches. I'm going to ask for a 6-piece progress clock at 1.
Sure thing.
I'm
All right.
out of my depth. I want to get Jake out of there. I want to get Mom out of there. I have no idea how to do any of this.
I dropped my bag, grabbed my lighter, and I still have the isopropyl in my hands, and leap across the desk.
You hear
Yeah,
the painting shout,
Oh, damn.
"No!"
All right. Rachel has leaped across the desk. What happened?
And I douse it in isopropyl.
Okay.
Jake,
There was
or
a
the
reason
painting?
for this, for cleaning.
Ah.
Jeff, can I have the vocal effect?
Yes, you can. And go.
Are we having a barbecue?
Isopropyl's not doing anything? Oh, well, then I'm screwed.
Walk up to
I
him.
gotta step
Silly meat man.
Jake, what happened to you? What's going on here? What's going on with the hospital?
It's perfection. It's the eradication of the originalities of the comics. It's bliss. It's salvation. It's ascension. It's
gross.
personification.
It's gross and it's terrible, and you're not you, Jake.
I am the epitome of myself.
No, you're not. Everything Chris has told me about Jake is really sweet and really kind and really nice and he wouldn't hurt people.
I have hurt no one.
What
have
happened to all the
perfected
people in the
them.
hospital? What happened to your mom? Your mom is in a painting? This
She's
isn't normal,
unfinished.
Jake. This isn't okay.
Sorry, what'd I miss?
You can't just take people over.
I have taken no one. I am more myself.
No, you're not. The real Jake wouldn't act like this. The real Jake would understand how much he's hurting his brother and his mom and his sister. The real Jake is kind. You're not the real Jake.
Jeff, can you cut
I
the
also-
ripple effect?
I also don't think the real Jake knows the word epitome.
Oh
What
no,
with the painting at the same time.
The real Jake is riding shotgun. He is not, in fact, driving.
Chris.
Mom?
Violet.
Chris. You hear this over the radio.
I'm here.
Chris. Everything is so hard. Hold on. I need to talk to Jake. Let me talk to Jake.
He's here too. With something.
Jake, can you hear me?
Yes.
I need you to understand. There is so much you have left. You remember the silver hawk. Do you remember?
Jake freezes. Stock still. There's some sort of internal conflict happening, and it's at this moment that I'm going to remind Chris and the rest of the party that you can burn stress to trigger a flashback. Are y'all familiar with this mechanic?
Could
I'll
you
do
please
it.
remind us?
Okay. There's a section called flashbacks on page 36 of the source book. It says one noteworthy thing about these mechanics is that there are such things as flashbacks. When the procedure phase is underway, basically when we're doing the thing, you invoke a flashback to roll for an action in the past that impacts your current situation. An example given is perhaps you were able to convince the principal to give you the keys to the school after dark, so you make a convince action roll to find out. The storyteller determines the stress cost when you activate the flashback roll, and that's going to depend on what you're running a flashback for. 0 stress would be a typical action that your character had an ample opportunity to do. For example, the mastermind managed to convince her friend to be the necessary distraction to help you get inside the school. 1 stress would be a complex action that involves a risky opportunity. For example, the curfew dodger managed to do the reconnaissance on the property using an assess roll, such that there's now a detailed map available to click. 2 or more stress, an elaborate action that required unique opportunities and luck to bring about. For example, the creepy kid put in a lot of study rolls in order to learn about the history of the infection thesis, such that a key weakness is revealed or an oppositional force in the form of a counter thesis is established. Once the cost is paid, the flashback action is handled like a typical scenic action. This could involve an action roll on the player's part, or it could involve a roll on me, the storyteller's part. It all depends on what the demand is placed on whom. Other times it may be the case that the flashback is effectively free, no stress, the effect is achieved.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, given all that, what were you thinking, Skillsy?
As far as options that they have?
Yeah.
I could see potentially Chris or Matt having had a conversation that was later, if he wasn't involved in it, related to Chris. Twins have sometimes they'll have weird little code phrases or languages or bits and pieces that they would just share with one another. There's that sort of twin bond thing that sometimes gets talked about, and obviously, this isn't actual reality where that's only sort of a thing under certain situations. This could be much stronger here. There is also potentially the option of some kind of story that Chris would know about something that Jake had done with their mom at one point, or maybe some kind of memory of your father. Just, your brother's actually in there somewhere.
Yeah, he is, and that's actually her too.
Yeah, that is actually her.
And is that her hand still trying to make its way through the wall?
Yep.
Does anybody have anything sharp?
I
pull
would.
out a number of scalpels. Take your pick.
Yeah, I'll grab whichever one is not pointed at me and try to cut open the wall.
Put on your gloves first. Make sure you put on your gloves. Don't just touch it.
Oh my god. I'll start to fumble with a big, bulky, adult-sized pair of dishwashing gloves. And then as I almost get one of them on, I think about trying to operate a scalpel with it and just drop it on the floor and just go ham on the wall with the scalpel, bare hands.
Okay.
Mm.
Jake is going to respond to this. So he stands and says, "What are you doing, brother? She isn't complete yet."
She was complete before she got here. So were you.
I was half of myself.
I think about whether I remember anything from science class about symbiotes and parasites, but I'm still hacking away at the wall.
I think
I'm gonna. Oh
no, go ahead.
I'm gonna get on the radio. Hey, Violet.
Yeah.
Violet, you still there?
Yeah. I'm here.
Hey, Violet. I know I haven't known you guys for that long.
Huh?
Can you tell me the Silverhawk story?
Silverhawk. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that cartoon, man. Tell me all about it. What was your favorite episode?
Favorite episode. It was when. So there was when the guy with the guitar, right? He wore a cowboy hat and he had a guitar, and then we were watching, and me and Jake, we were trying to figure out which person we wanted to be of the Silverhawks, and he said that he wanted to be the guy with the guitar, and I went, you know what? Maybe we can both be the guy with the guitar, and he said, yeah, we're just like one half of one of the guys with the guitar, and I think we're gonna be okay. Because the thing is, I don't. And then Chris came over, and then we all shared cereal, and it was the Fruity Pebbles. It wasn't the Cocoa Pebbles. I don't like the Cocoa Pebbles. I wanted the Fruity Pebbles. And so, when it came to that kind of thing, I just wanted something to hold on to. I just wanted something to hold on to because Mom was always gone. Always gone. Always gone.
No, me, I always wanted to be Tally. Tally Hawk. That was my favorite.
Tally Hawk's pretty cool.
Yeah, she wasn't really one of the guys, but she was this cool hawk, right? Right?
Yeah.
And I think you both being Bluegrass would have been so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we can
Jake,
both.
do you remember Bluegrass? Do you remember wanting to be Bluegrass?
Jake went still when he started hearing Violet talk. Just a note. I was just letting you know that he had gone still, like
Okay.
earlier in that conversation. I apologize if I did not mean to like derail. Please continue.
I, Chungus, misunderstood the radio as being the hospital intercom.
Oh,
And
sorry.
now I understand fully what is happening.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's the shortwave, like the basically walkie talkies that Rachel set up for us.
I'm with you now. No worries.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll just like, I'm still working the wall, but I'll tell Dorothea, good, keep her talking, keep going.
So, Violet, did you know that there were twins in the show too? Steelheart. Steelheart was
Steelheart.
the twin of Steel Will. They were just like you guys, a boy twin and a girl twin.
Steelheart.
And Steelheart and Steel Will, and they were twins. And
Steelheart. Steel
they
Will.
worked together really hard, and they really loved each other, and they always looked out for each other. Didn't you, Jake?
Yeah.
Steelheart. Steelheart, listen to me. I'm still Will. We're gonna get through this. Steelheart. Do you remember? Do you remember the scary thunderstorm, Steelheart?
Steel storm.
Steel storm, that's right. We came up with a whole new special move that they were gonna do. Do you remember?
It sounds like he's been drugged almost, but it's him.
So, that's the thing. I remembered all of this. And the thing is about Steel Storm that we said is that it came out from the center of our chest and would instantly heal everything around us and get rid of all the scary. Do you remember?
That's what it. It just sort of trails off.
So, imagine Steel Storm now. Just imagine it. And we can get through this.
Chris, you still cutting away at the wall?
Yeah, I gotta get Mom out of there.
Okay. You've got her upper half cut out. She's sort of like slumped, not quite conscious, but like reaching toward where she can hear her kids. You get the sort of sense that it's not. She's not going to be the one who can break out of this. It's got to be you.
I'll keep doing what I gotta do.
Ronnie can see what's going on. Is there any way to help speed up the removal from the wall?
I mean, I think Dorothea had multiple scalpels if you wanted to take over that, and Chris could focus on Jake, maybe?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Carter would also want to hack at the wall. That would be a productive use of his current nervous energy.
Yes.
I fan out a bunch of scalpels like cards.
You're the scalpel fairy.
Perfect.
Yes, I am
15
the
blade,
scalpel
go.
fairy. But I make sure to help. I make sure that that everybody can grab them beneath the blade, so that they don't have to touch the blade, because that's scary.
Excellent. So they are cutting your mom out of the wall. Chris, what do you want to do?
While they're cutting, I'll try and get hold of her and see if I can drag her out.
Okay. You get her free, but she's not quite conscious, and Jake is sort of slipping back into whatever was there before.
Hey, Chris, did you guys watch Silverhawks together? Did you watch Silverhawks with them?
Yeah, it was our favorite cartoon.
Which one was your favorite character when you guys played pretend? Were you Quicksilver? He was the leader. You seem like you'd be the Quicksilver one.
I mean, I am the oldest,
Yeah.
but not so
So-
old that I'd be the cranky, the boss.
I mean, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the sort of sense that you're around a lot more than Joan. So, like, his world is basically made up of you and Violet and Matt. If it's gonna... Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You. No, you.
No, you. Jeff, cut my mic.
So you would have been Commander Stargazer, right? You would have been the one the chief, the one that gave the commands, right? That told Steel Will and Steelheart where to go, right?
Depending on the day. I mean, Quicksilver was super athletic, and I never have been, but
He sort of
mean, but
yeah,
sleepily...
he's the one I aspired to be.
Jake's head sort of sleepily rolls up. Quicksilver. He's getting more of a sense.
And Quicksilver was the leader. He was the leader of the Silverhawks, and Steelheart and Steel Will would listen to Quicksilver when he gave commands when they were in battle. Wouldn't they, Steelheart?
Chris gets this just... He sees Jake reach out his hand just all at once, and this sort of pleading moment where Jake's eyes shift and sort of roll back to the side, and it's him for a second, and there's this sort of moment where there's like a fight happening. He's got two sets of irises and pupils. One's the amber and one is his usual green, and he's on the brink of something. He needs something from you. Kid's got two eyes in each eye.
Quicksilver should give a command since we're in battle.
And Chris has been racking his brain this whole time while trying to bring his mom around to also remember what the Silverhawks version of Avengers Assemble was. And it's not coming to him. It's driving him nuts.
It's okay. Let me actually look that up for you.
I apologize. That is something I am flailing with because I have no frame of reference for this piece of media. I'm sorry. I don't even know if you're talking about a made-up thing or a real thing.
No, we're talking about a real thing. It is a badass 80s show. I
got the
fucking
sense
love it.
of that, and so I've just been like, I
am actually I'm on the wiki.
Nice.
That's where I'm at.
I was not expecting the turn toward 80s Saturday morning cartoons.
Look, Silverhawks rocks.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just I don't get the references, so I don't know how to be like, yeah, this is the thing, guys.
It's okay. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. By the way, it's Silverhawks Open Fire.
Okay. And it comes to Chris as he, like, just in a flash, and he grabs the side of his mom's head and, like, just points her head at his and bellows it from his feet. Silverhawks, open fire!
Yes.
That works. Jake goes just completely rigid, and you hear something that isn't him scream with his mouth. And it's sort of...
You're good.
Audio effects. It just sort of like... You see the paper snake sort of like the pulling scarves out of the mouth type thing, but it's paper mache, and it just sucks it up into the vents, and it sort of crumbles and burns into ash as it falls apart, and the lights cut again. Everything goes black. And when they come back up, you're back in the ICU. And your mom is there. And you're holding Jake. And the hospital is back to normal. And everyone, including your mom, is very confused. And when you look down at Jake's unconscious form in your arms. You sort of take one of his eyes and peel the lids a bit, just to like look in and make sure that they're his eyes. And for a split second, they're amber. And in that split second, all of you are ripped out of this reality and plunked back in that almost familiar desert at this point. With the moons, the fires, the tides, and the dust. But the tides this time aren't so much sand, they're snow, and the thing in front of you is this just paper amalgamate with too many limbs, and you realize that the operation that was going to happen when you came in was actually the installation of more of these horrifying papier-mâché limbs. And from the snow and sand mixture, there's more rocks sort of lifting. More, are they walls? And the horizon is on fire. And it just looks at you in disgust. Originals are never needed. Ye were never you. How dare you?
You're nothing but a cheap copy. You're not even good enough.
Good enough.
If you could survive in our world without one of us, you would be able to, and you wouldn't need us. But you can't, because you're weak. You're nothing. You're nobody.
There is only one of any of you.
Dry up and blow away.
It sort of opens its mouth and takes a shuddering step, a few of them, toward you. Not as fast as the thing, as I can't remember if that was Latchkey or y'all. Not as fast as the things you're used to seeing this thing move, but it's still heading towards you. What you gonna do?
I take out one of the syringes I have that's like full of saline, and I just spray it. Because it's paper. It's wet. It's gonna get goopy.
That's true. And the saline hits it in the face and it sort of starts sizzling.
How about some purified water, jerk face?
That'll work. If I recall correctly, Rachel also still has some isopropyl.
Yes. I have 2 bottles of it.
This doesn't have to be a one-man show, I'm just saying. If there's anything else anybody would like to add to kick the crap out of this thing.
Hey, we'll add some isopropyl to it.
Excellent. And it does precisely what Dorothea suggested. It crumbles up, and it blows away. And where it was is half of another one of those cards. Like Yerntide. It doesn't work. It can't be punctured with the needle.
Yeah, I'll put on a dishwashing glove and grab it.
It's the intent that matters. And who was it that picked it up?
Chris.
And as Chris picks it up. Stranger Peace, do you want to take over?
Yeah, I'll take over. As you pick it up, the thing that you detect the most is a sense all of a sudden disorienting that who you thought you were, your actions have departed so far from that point, that simple Archimedean point, that now you are in somewhere strange, somewhere you've never expected, somewhere that you look in the mirror and you don't know who you are. And the thing is, in that moment, you would be afraid. In that moment, you would be somehow terrified. But instead of terror, you find freedom. You find such a seductive freedom, because now you know you are no longer bound to that Archimedean point.
You can pick, you can choose, you can be anything and anyone you choose, even if it's someone else. All you have to do is watch, listen, and let their voice guide your muscles and your bones to the point where your breath becomes theirs. You are like a fire, catching ever so slowly. That is what you feel, Chris.
And as Chris picks up the card, that strange place fades away, and you find yourself back on that floor, and Jake blinks up at you with his eyes. If there's no actions anyone would like to take before the post-mortem, I think we're okay to just skip forward to the hideout for the post-mortem.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to make sure Mom and Jake are okay. That's it.
Yep, they're doing just
Dorothea
fine.
just kind of falls to the floor and sits. Very tired. Very stressed.
I'd like to stop out at the courtyard for just a moment and just kind of have a quiet moment by the tree to just think and reflect. And I might have a cookie and drop one, just a little for my homies, I guess. Like I don't know.
Libations for the bug friends. Yeah.
They probably had a hard day too.
Oh, I'm sure.
At that point, I believe we are up to the point where we have to discuss things like trouble.
Indeed. How loud do you think that all went?
Well, the other practices definitely noticed that the hospital was just a thing for a bit. But also, weirdly, there were only a couple of deaths while things were down, and it was not... There was only one or two above what would be considered normal. And there were all those weird power fluctuations. So I don't think any issues with that would have been attributed to y'all. I think the standard 2 is a decent amount there.
All right, standard 2. So go ahead and add 2 trouble to the trouble meter, which I believe they already had 2 trouble, so they're up to 4.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, I believe we go into entanglements.
That's right.
Chris, can you roll me a d6?
One.
Do you want to add another d6?
I think I'm happy at 1.
All right. Your entanglement is detention. The principal or vice principal has noticed what the kids are doing and singles out the clique for detention. This can be resolved through one kid taking the fall for the group, sucking up, or manipulating the authority in question, or through sneaking away.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that's going to be the vice principal, who is still a salty boy, because y'all didn't sign his papers.
Okay.
So you can take the detention for slights real or imagined, or talk your way out.
I think I'd like to try sucking up. I've been under a lot of stress lately, and I know I've pulled my friends into this with this whole thing with my family, and I know they were probably mean to you, and that's because I'm stressing them out. And hurt people, right? But it all comes back to me, so I'll take the consequences for what happened.
So the vice principal is going to consider the fact that your mom is a prominent surgeon and other people noticed that she actually was missing. And it's probably not going to look the best for him if he just immediately retaliates. So he's going to let you get away with one afternoon's detention, which will be served between sessions, and everyone else gets off, and you get to relieve 2 trouble.
All right, so you negated the trouble for this session. Nice.
You did. By,
Nice.
by leveraging precisely the right thing. And then as far as downtime and recovery activities, I know I asked you to come in with 2. Do you guys have some that you would want to use now, or do we want to continue doing that at the beginning of the session? Just have you resolve that next time.
Like doing it at the beginning of the session. It gets you thinking into the session going.
Yeah. I like
think
that.
it works well that way too.
Agreed.
Awesome. Okay.
In that case, I think... Oh, you know what? Y'all get reputation.
Yep.
Yeet.
You earn 2 reputation by default. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead and say that you get 3 total.
Yeah.
Because Kelso would have noticed.
He sure did.
So what's our total reputation at this point?
I believe they got 2 before, so it'd be
5.
5?
Okay.
I'd have to check the notes, I
I'm
apologize.
pretty sure it's 5.
Yeah, I think it would be 5.
Yeah. Sorry. When my computer crashed last time, it took my unsaved click page with it.
Oh.
And so I kind of got to redo it all.
I get that.
It means that
Also
now the cult, or the cult.
The cult?
Click.
Wait, I missed that meeting. What?
The click.
Whomst?
The click is now a topic of conversation. Adults in the town occasionally talk about the click's actions and reflect on it briefly. The pros. They will receive more material support from adults who are sympathetic. They have further credibility with more authorities. The cons. In addition to the previous level's drawbacks, any procedure that goes too loud, more than 4 trouble accrued during a procedure, will also be talked about by the adults for at least a month, which may reduce opportunities. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I do believe that is it for us for the night.
That concludes this session of this game of ours. Thank you so much to our players, Grimfair, Karita, Miss Tori, Pat, 2% Chungus. You all fucking killed it.
You guys are great.
You fucking killed it
Also,
tonight.
that arm pump there was me being like, yes, I managed to keep it in time.
Yeah, just in time.
You
just
did
in-
a great job.
You did an
Yeah.
amazing job, Skillsy.
Thank you.
Like, you God, I didn't think anybody could be creepier than Jeff, but
I wasn't
congratulations, you did
creepier. I wasn't
That was
creepier. I
appropriate
didn't know the
stuff.
voice modulation was going to be a thing like that.
Okay, but no, like even without the voice modulation, it was oh god, stress.
So,
Also,
Yeah.
still never want to hear fluid again.
and thank you, Skillsy, for stepping in for me while I'm
course.
healing from dental surgery. I really appreciate that. And thank you
course.
to everyone who's watching and everyone who watches the VOD. I appreciate you. We're going to be back hopefully next week with yet another adventure. And we're going to be moving on to whatever is past Twinning Fire. But I want to leave you with one scene before we go to the end credits.
Concern.
In the hideout, as you place Twinning Fire in the notebook, you notice that once you do so, there is a stanza of poetry that appears beneath both Twinning Fire and Urintide. Urintide, the first stanza reads, "From shrieking stars in spaces vast." And under Twinning Fire, it reads, "Those hungry words are made at last." May the hours never find your regrets, everyone. I'll
see you on the other side. Take care.